Nom 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 nom. Oi.
Hello everyone, my name is Pauline and I'm an eataholic. Welcome to my channel Tikva Hobbies, where I talk about knitting, crocheting and stuff like that. Today in this podcast episode we're going to show at what I'm doing right now and my projects which are planned, just on the stage of planning. So let's go to this. First, I haven't shown yet the final result of the sweater, of the striped one. Here it is. For those who have watched the previous episodes, you know that I experienced quite a struggle with the color change. And on camera you should see it. It must be rather noticeable. In real life it's bearable, and actually in this light I cannot see it at all, so it's not a big deal. The size is fine, and I finished the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater by picking up stitches on both sides, outer side and the inside, and then kitchen stitched after a few rows of stockinette, if that makes sense. This makes it pretty nice and neat and not stretching in any direction or curving. I like this finishing. Took me a while, as you could imagine, kitchen stitch all of these circumferences, but I like the way it turned out, and you could see a few photos right here which we took in the park. Well, that was now about a month ago. Well, no, I guess a bit less, must be a bit less, but as I haven't shown it here, I thought I might as well do it. So that's the first finished project. Hooray! Done with this one. Then if you haven't watched my previous video, which is a tutorial on how to make a sunglasses case, please check this out after finishing this one. That's the case which I show in the tutorial. This is crocheted. It's actually color work, like Fair Isle knitting, but this is crocheting. It's the first time I did it. Actually, no, it's the second. The first one was just a like trial version. Yeah, like, what am I saying? The first one turned out to be too small for my sunglasses, so I'm using it now as a place to store my hooks, crochet hooks. This one is just right, and yeah, if you've watched the video, I complained a few times about the button. I sewed in a smaller one and like it way more. Perfectly happy with this one, and that's another finished object, right? Another work finished. As for my promise to proceed with the back cover, that's what I've done. And I guess last time we were either finishing this yellow stripe or were in the middle of this solid colored gray one, but I can say that I've made about 20 centimeters, actually I believe now even more, and I love this stripe of this purpley pink color and the milky white, and these knots and crosses. That's, by the way, what the pattern is called, knots and crosses, from the book. I mentioned it in the previous video. That's the book which is written totally in Russian, but it has all the schemes, and you could use it while working mosaic crochet. That's by Yulia Gendina, and the book is called нескучный плед. How to translate it? Not a boring blanket, yeah, or like the non-boring, yeah, the opposite of boring blanket. And it's definitely not boring. It's so engaging. And what I love is that we cut the thread every single row. Work one row, fix it, cut it, and start all over again. It's such an experience. You should try it, because instead of constantly weaving in ends, if you work like with crocheting, well, okay, not always. It's not always that you need to weave in ends, but here all the ends are loose. I might, and I will, trim them when the blanket is over, but now I love it. When you work the row, snip it and start it all over again, another row, and it's amazing, definitely. This panel, I've been waiting for it because, well, as a girl I like all purpley pink shades, and the pattern itself, it's so regular, it just catches my eye. And I've done this brown part, solid brown color, and I'm repeating this stripe here, yeah. Oops. And actually, if I'm right, and I'm sure I can't be mistaken, this is the repeat of my bed cover, which I'm going to repeat. Yes, like, I mean, vertically in rows, that's the repeat. And it should be, as it's around 85 centimeters now. I guess I might repeat it 4 times to make the length of the bed. Well, that might be too long. I'll see what I could do. Maybe I might skip a few of these stripes further on. I'll see. Now I'm going just to repeat it, and in the 3rd stripe I might, you know, see what I could do to make it symmetrical vertically, and at the same time so that skipping the stripes doesn't bother me a lot. Much, yeah. Well, that's the bed cover. I promised that I would do like solid 20-30 centimeters, and I've done 25. I'll finish this stripe, dark and light gray stripe, and I guess I will start another project. And as for that, I need your advice. What else I've started? I've got around 600 grams of this linen. It's called Frescolino, that's the name of the yarn. And yeah, article Frescolino by Toscano, maybe, at least that's what the label says, and it's 100% linen. And the yardage is 320 meters in 100 grams, which is perfect for hand knitting. Yeah, should be perfect. Seems like I've got one needle unscrewed. It must be in the back. I'll check it later. But I'm a bit, yeah, you see, I've lost my track of words because these are bamboo and they could be easily broken, and it's actually the first time I'm using this set. It's, what is it called? C-knit? Oh, sick knit. Yeah, this one. We should pronounce K. I showed it a couple episodes ago in just how I unpacked it and showed you the needles, and that said that it would be perfect for linen and silk, and I'm trying it out. Originally I tried it on number 3mm needles, the steel ones, higher, but the fabric seemed too loose. There were a lot of holes, and it's not what I want my dress. I haven't mentioned, I've mentioned a few times in the previous episodes that I was going to work on a dress, and I really wanted to start a project. So this is going to be a dress, 600 grams of 320 meters should be enough. It's around 2000 meters total. This should be fine for a dress which is not like full length, floor length, but should be fine and safely cover like the greater part of my laps, yeah, and probably even reach to the knees and go a bit beyond, a bit lower, below, yeah. We'll see. So I worked on 3mm needles and there were awful holes, and I decided to try 275, still the holes. And I'm quite happy only using 2.5mm needles. What size it is? That's US1, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. If you know better, please comment in the comment section, because I still need to consult the table looking at it. So 2.5mm bamboo needles, and the fabric is, it is a bit see-through, but I haven't washed it, and I know that linen doesn't spread much and it shouldn't like get bigger, and it's just becomes a bit softer after washing. I'm pretty happy with the fabric now, considering that the dress is like 600 grams. It's going to be, if not heavy, but at least not light, and it might go a bit, if not, how to say, not stretch, but it weighs, and simply this weight might stretch the fabric a bit, and I don't want it to be loosely knit. That's why I'm using 2.5mm needles. The pattern. I'm doing something crazy here. Well, could you recognize this panel? Well, I give you a few seconds to think which pattern this comes from. Well, you know it? No? That's from Alice Starmer's Tudor Roses book, and it's Elizabeth I. This beautiful jumper, which is of course knit out of wool yarn, yeah, Herbadine to ply, and I'm using linen. But I wanted so badly on my dress this V shape, and I decided to try it out. That was partly insane idea, because this is linen, and linen, well, I'm not sure you see it from that far. I'll probably make a close-up. It doesn't make errands nice and beautiful. Unlike wool. Wool is sort of, it sticks, all the stitches stick together and become fluffy, and it's one solid surface. With linen, it's not like that. The stitches are separate, and it looks different. And I can't say I like it 100%. I assumed that it might be like this. I expected it to be this way, but still I might work 10 to 15 rows more till I reach the yarn overs, and we'll see how they spread when after blocking. And I would like to see what it looks like after blocking, so I might do it pretty soon. So, and check out my Instagram account, Tikva Hobbies, to see it in the stories. I'll take a photo as soon as I wash it and it gets dry. So working 10 to 15 rows more on this washing, and then I'll decide. Anyway, if it doesn't turn out to be as I want it to be, at least this could make a nice stocking stitch sample, right? It's definitely more than 15 by 15 centimeters. That's more than enough to calculate my stockinette gauge. And stockinette is anyway what I'm gonna use for this, mostly. We'll see. I might either, if I like the pattern and what this central part looks like, I might recalculate the numbers in the pattern to see that my gauge fits it perfectly and see what I could make out of it. If not, I might just work stockinette stitch with some maybe lace pattern a bit, yeah, also linen and silk, they're perfect for lace, although I can't say I'm really a lace knitting person. Well, I could be lace knitting, I'm not sure that I'm lace wearing, that I could wear such things. Although I've got a top which is all in holes, it's crochet or Irish crochet top. I thought that I might wear it today for this podcast, but somehow escaped my mind that I had this plan. So the summer is still on. You might see me wearing it next time. Right, this is it. If it works out nicely, this will be my next project. And I mentioned that I needed your advice. I might work on this one, or there are two more options. The first is I've got a case for my e-reader, which I showed, let's say, in the previous episode, along with my intention to work the sunglasses case, which I've done, which I've completed. I mentioned that I might work a mosaic crochet tablet or e-reader case, and I'm really looking forward to your advice whether I should try it or not, because if I do, I need to work out the pattern for it, and it would be quite unfair and I would say like not proper to use the pattern from the book, because, well, it's printed in the book. I mean, the book which I'm using for the pad cover. So if you have a desire to work a crochet case for your e-reader, tablet, or whichever small gadget you need, so please comment in this comment section below, and I will start choosing and picking and maybe even designing it on my own, the pattern. There are basic rules how you need to do this. So the fabric is like consistent, it's like solid, makes pattern, yeah, it should be like geometrical. I might try my hand in it if you wish, so please let me know. Or another thing is that my grandma asked me to work a little bag, well, like a purse, to put her phone and keys while gardening, with probably some like chain or whichever, well, some rope, yeah, but to put it on her, around her neck, and just place it here. Not big, I'd say 15 maybe by 10 or 12 centimeters, such one. And to make it not that boring, just simple solid crocheting, I might implement some color work. Not diamonds, probably something else, I'll see. The thing is, I'm a little bit, yeah, let me tell you a secret, I'm a little bit reluctant to work on this because you could buy such a thing very easily, and I want to work on the dress. And my husband is trying to persuade me that the case is what would be more interesting for you. So let me know, please. Anyway, I'm quite happy with how my bed cover is going. So while waiting for your answer, I might increase it as well. Let me know what's most interesting for you. The dress, yeah, the little purse. If you're into gardening, this might be handy for you. Or anyway, it could be used like a purse, maybe for cosmetics, like, right, to put stuff into it. besides, I might sew in the zip, or I might ask my husband because he's way better at sewing than me. That's great to have such a husband. Or the mosaic crochet case for gadgets. So one of these three options. Please let me know in the comments below which you would prefer, and I'll take it into account, yeah, while getting ready for the next podcast and making plans. Well, I guess it's the most unplanned video. Well, planned, but I'm just trying to be as spontaneous and just saying as I can. Speaking could be a bit awkward after 2 weeks' time. That's when I recorded the previous video. Anyway, I'm glad that you're watching me, that my tutorials are being useful, and I hope that podcasts as well, at least they could be a nice background for your knitting and crocheting and stuff like that, or just, don't know, simply enjoying your cup of tea, coffee, or probably something cooler in this weather as it's summertime. Have a nice time knitting, and it's been great seeing you again on my podcast. Please share your opinion in the comment section below, thumbs up to support me, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and see you in the next one. Bye!